Hey, welcome. My name is John. We're getting to hike Leigh Lake. Hopefully, you stick around to watch as we got our butts kicked up and down the mountain. So, this hike is supposed to be 2.5 miles long, and we're supposed to climb, I don't know, it's like 2,000 feet in elevation. The Forest Service says that this trail is moderate. The All Trails has this marked as a hard trail. I don't know. I personally think that this was a very hard trail. Many people hike it, but if you're scared of heights or clumsy, you might want to think twice about doing it. So I'll fast forward up the boring part of the trail, which is just mainly going up, and you don't have to listen to us huff and puff the whole way. We also edited out all the breaks, trying to make it a nice, smoother transition into what was a very long and strenuous hike. We found the trailhead for Leigh Lake by running around in our side by side, just kind of exploring one of the roads up here. And we found the trailhead. There was a young guy coming out. He said, "Hey, you're probably not going to hike that with that AR-15 in your hands. Come back up with a pistol or something." He said there's a certain point where you're going to want to use both hands. So we heeded his advice, and we saved it for another day. I'm kind of glad we did, because I believe he was correct. If I had a sling for the AR, I probably could have got through it, but it would have been beat to hell. So my wife just kind of kept reminding me about that trail and how she wanted to explore it. So we went to the Forest Service website and we read what the Forest Service had to say. It basically says that you're going to walk through some old growth, and then you're going to get into the Aspen Trail, I believe is what they said. Then we watched a couple of YouTube videos, and the YouTube guy said the trail was pretty good, except for there was a couple of rock scrambles. Let me tell you right now, that's bullshit. There is a lot of rocks to climb. You are going up, and up, and then you're going to climb. What makes this so frustrating is that the trail is not marked clearly. I have left some audio in some areas so you can hear the confusion, and you can also see what you're facing. Keep in mind when you're watching this, the camera is not aimed down at the ground, but it is actually kind of just straight ahead on the lapel of my backpack. It is that steep. My wife is also a fairly short woman, so some of these obstacles are a little bit more difficult for her. You know, she's got shorter legs, stuff like that. This step here is gonna be really fun. You got this, dear. You got this. So as you can hear, we're just starting to get into the rocky part. My wife is already having problems getting over the obstacles. Anyways, as we keep going, you'll see that it just gets a little more rocky. Keep in mind it's steep. Every time you see both hands touching stuff, that basically means that it's that steep. I am leaned over a little bit, but not that much. I don't walk on my hands. And to make matters worse, it's just kind of that loose, rocky shale shit. Makes it really easy for mechanical injury. This is what, if you take this hike, this is what you get. You don't have much but a goat trail, and it's not even much of a goat trail. Well, you should see the creek any minute now, though, the waterfall. Everybody we talked to this point had said that the Leigh Lake hike was pretty steep. So by steep, I was beginning to think that it was just, up and down steep. Then we were finding out that it was vertical too. Yeah, when they said steep, they weren't fucking around. I had no idea just how true those last two statements were. Yes, It is freaking steep. Yes, it is a goat trail. It does say on the Forest Service website that there is no livestock on the trail. It's not made for it. Well, the Forest Service said don't even freaking try. The people that we met that said it was steep, they should have said it is holy shit steep. And if you're scared of heights, don't do it. My wife is not very good with heights at all. I once took her up to the top of a parking structure I had built, and she started crying. That was 20 feet from the edge. I love my wife, but she is not built for heights. She loves adventures, and I like to take her on adventures. But when it comes to heights, she just doesn't do well. While we wind our way up this little goat trail here on this ledge, you can see that my wife, I actually left her in this frame just for size. So in those couple of seconds, in that switchback, you can see I am now above her, standing, 10 feet above her. That's how fast you're climbing on this trail. While we climb our way up to this lake, my wife has encouraged me to start taping some of the adventures that we have. I've gotten a little bored, and she figured that if I get out and about, that maybe this will take up my time. She also suggested that maybe I start a YouTube channel because evidently I'm sort of a smartass. So on our adventures, I guess I'm going to do the best I can to bring you along. If you like them, leave comments. If you don't like them, well, leave comments. I don't care. Anyways, we're almost to the waterfall. And yes, I forgot to mention there is a waterfall on the way to the lake. The lake feeds the waterfall, and it's a really, really gorgeous view. Now that we have found the waterfall, and my wife has decided that, well, maybe it's not that bad with all the heights getting to the waterfall, she decides that maybe, just maybe, she's going to go play in the water because, well, why wouldn't she? My wife is perpetually thinking that if it's 80 degrees plus, that is hot, so she needs to cool down whenever she sees water. I don't know, it's a strange effect, but, I'm just glad it makes her happy, and I'm glad that she's going to cool off because the stranger that we pass in the edited out clip, he explains that we are not even close to the worst part of this trail. In his words, it gets very gnarly for a short stretch up above. He also tells me that we need to make sure that we pay attention looking to our left, as the trail splits multiple times, but the main trail is somewhere to our left. I thank the guy. His name is Ron, and his wife is a traveling nurse. He is a native to Montana, somewhere over, on the east side of Montana, and isn't accustomed to having these big mountains. He just moved to Kalispell and read about Leigh Lake and decided he is going to have a hike. It was nice talking to him, and his two dogs were a hoot. I cut them out as well. They liked to play stick while my wife bathed in the water. She didn't bathe, got wet. After my wife was good and cooled off, we start back up the trail. The trail really starts to get difficult after the waterfall. Here you can see that I am climbing 10 to 15 steps up, and I'm about 10 to 15 feet higher than my wife. You have to pick your way through the shale bedrock shit to make your way up. You have to wind yourself around, and multiple people have chosen different paths through the years, and you have to decide which way you want to go. It is a grueling process, but we are not to the hard part yet. The confusion hasn't started yet, but it is getting near. You're going to hear original audio, as I said earlier, of what I left in and the confusion that ensues. He says it gets really sketchy for a short distance right up here. He said then after that it gets easy. He said it gets fucking sketchy. Wow, look at that view. But we don't have time to really wait around and look at that beautiful view. I need to act like Sylvester Stallone in Cliffhanger and get my fat ass across this ledge. Why am I going to climb across this ledge? Because evidently there is a lake that's beautiful that I'm going to go see on the other side. Why am I going to cross this ledge? Because I just want to hear my wife cry as she faces her fears of heights, which I'm very proud of her for doing. But yes, that is a ledge. That is a steep drop. Yes, that is a good way to get hurt. This lake had better be worth it, because I am starting to get upset. Now that we've made our way across this ledge, and my wife did swimmingly, she just Rambo'd that shit, we are now going to enter our own personal game. This game is called Choose Your Own Adventure. In this case, the adventure is the trail. I have to look left and right and walk a little bit this way and a little bit back the other way, trying to figure out which way is the best way to go up. After all, the stranger told us to look up to the left. The problem with looking up to the left is there's, well, I don't know, 6 other trails to the left. At this point, I've got to figure out which one looks like it's the easiest. While I'm crying about this hike and getting my butt kicked all the way up this mountain, I kind of think about King David. You know, like when he was hiding from Saul, you know, he spent all the time in the Judean wilderness. The experience was marked with hunger and need. Could you imagine this is just an environment to hide in? It'd have to be steep like this. Imagine hiding in a cave, you know, watching Saul. Anywho, just a sentiment I'm coming up with as I look for the way through this wilderness. Oh, look, another ledge. Look at that view. The view's amazing. I think this might be the trail. I don't want to fucking climb that. Uh-oh, did you hear that? Sounds like I'm already getting tired. Sounds like I'm giving in. I don't like that. Fuck, babe, I don't know. I think this might be it, but he said keep looking to your left. You know, with as many hikers as come up here, you'd think the trail would be a little better marked. I don't know. We gotta climb up this ledge no matter what. I don't think we took the right trail. Yeah. Fuck, I guess, I don't know. Huh? I can tell you this, that guy's video was bullshit. Well, I think you can hear it in my voice. I'm getting pretty pissed off now. The YouTube videos that we had watched leading up to this hike were obviously misleading us. They mentioned some hard spots, but as you can see, there's several minutes of climbing and trying to figure your way out. So, with that being said, the view was amazing, and as we slowly wind our way up and figure out where we're going, I kind of think of the stranger and how he said just keep going to the left. So we finally get up to where we're going. to the left, and things are starting to work out. Slowly but surely, we're starting to figure out that we are indeed on the right path. We've now climbed up higher. Our breath is starting to slow down. We're starting to feel a little bit more normal. We're getting into some really cool rock formations, some rock slides. You can still just barely hear the waterfall. The view of the waterfall down below us is kind of cool. The trail is getting easier to walk now. It's flatter. We have a beautiful view in the background. We're starting to feel like we might just accomplish this goal. We might actually just see this lake. My wife is becoming more confident in herself. We keep moving forward, checking out the rock formations, starting to see traces of huckleberries. Huckleberries. Like the pride of Montana. This stuff is like $70, $80, $90 a pound, and people pay top dollar for it. And it's just everywhere up here. It's just amazing. So just every once in a while, think to yourself, I need to get off the couch and go do something. You get off the couch and go do something. Set your mind forward and move to it. The trail's getting easier, and we see that we're accomplishing our goal. We're starting to feel a little satisfaction. We haven't seen the real satisfaction yet. It's coming. It's a surprise. Speaking of surprises, I love my wife so much, I like to give her little warnings, just like this one. Close your mouth, I'm gonna fart. Quite literally, huckleberries just everywhere. Like, how are these, all the amount of people, how are these not picked clean? Right after I warn my wife, and I show her the huckleberries, we get our first glimpse of the lake. We soon forget about the huckleberries as we walk forward. The closer we get, the more pretty it gets. The mountains in the background almost seem surreal. They're reaching towards the heavens. It just doesn't make sense. Why is this hike so grueling, but takes you to such a beautiful place? Just enjoy as we get closer. So, we're in a giant bowl. I'm gonna spin really slowly. I'm gonna try two angles. My wife says we're not smoking bowls. So after we spent about an hour eating our lunch and taking in the views, my wife played in the lake a little bit. It was about time to go. As we left, we had to stop and think, what did we miss on the way up? There was something we missed. Ooh, look at that. Oh, dang. It's drive-through.
I know, huh? Vanilla bean. Ice cream.
Look at that. It's all over my hands. You need the Spider-Man hands to climb the rock shelf. Look at them all. Those are all huckleberries. All those dark little balls are huckleberries. There's like
80 pounds here. There's like $1 million worth if you want to hike up here.
Yep. And then you'd have to hike back to that.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
I quite literally edited out about 40 minutes of us eating huckleberries. So while we're wandering down the mountain here, the Forest Service says this trail climbs almost 900 vertical feet through a moderately open forest. The first portion cuts through old growth forest and crosses a few streams and avalanche chutes. About 1.5 miles up, there was a gorgeous 100-foot waterfall, and the trail transitions into an alpine setting with impressive views of Leigh Creek and Snowshoe Peak, surrounding the lake and cascading sounds of waterfalls below. It says that this is a relatively steep trail. At the 1.5 miles, the falls and trail splits, and there are two primitive trail options, one on each side of Leigh Creek. Both trails climb steeply for another 150 vertical feet. Access to the south spur may be limited depending on water level, and this last section may be difficult for some hikers. If solitude is your goal, this may not be the best trail due to its heavy use.
That's the height distance of what we just climbed down. Come on. You got this, dear. So I'm almost thinking that's the main trail.
Yeah, that's the one I said, oh, maybe we should have taken that.
But you got that really skinny rock face to go across. Going this way. That way is a little bit longer probably, but it's not as crazy.
What she means by what does my map say, she's asking me to basically pull out my Onyx or X Hunt, whatever you want to call it. And she wanted me to look and see what the main trail is. When I looked at Onyx or X Hunt, it was kind of just a spaghetti noodle of dotted lines. So even Onyx was confused. But I sped it up to double time just so you can see what we're gonna face coming back down. We meet lots of people along the road. A man and his daughter was up fishing. I talked to him and he told me that he's native to the area and had hiked that trail his entire life, and he said it was a pain in the ass. He was very good with his daughter, guiding her down the mountain. He obviously knew the path well. He had been doing it for so long that it was just second nature to him. He was a really nice guy, and I enjoyed the conversation. The hard part when you meet other people on the trail is finding a wide enough area to let people pass, or for people to let you pass. The rock formations are awesome and the views are amazing, but I just don't know if I agree with the Forest Service. I don't think this trail is moderate. Though there's lots of people that hike it, there's also lots of people that turn around when it gets very difficult. We noticed many people get through the crappy section, but we're turning around to go back through the crappy section because they just didn't want to keep continuing going farther and farther and farther. What I find interesting too is Leigh Lake is kind of off the beaten path. So the people that are coming up are obviously searching it out on the internet or some other form.
How you guys doing?
All right.
That's why I need a chest hold for this thing.
I tell you what, dude, this fucking Kenai is amazing.
Yeah.
I tried to get one out of Kalispell, but they wouldn't answer their phone. But
There's customer service there for you.
but Idaho, down in right outside of Coeur d'Alene there.
Yeah.
Gunfighters Inc., man, and it's a great little store. It was a fun trip.
Is that the Echelon?
No, it's the Kenai.
Oh no, the pistol.
I carry a chest holster everywhere I go. In Montana, we're in grizzly country, and it's a 10mm that I'm carrying. I love to plug outfits that I like. Gunfighters Inc. has done an amazing job. I thought the retention was a little tight in the holster, so I found them in Rathdrum, Idaho, and decided to visit them. They fixed the retention for me and had great conversation while doing so. It was kind of interesting because a couple of those guys don't exactly believe in the 10mm either, which I found fascinating.
You're doing great. Look at you go. You fucking did it.
My wife has asked me to remove her from all the pictures, but I'm not going to. My wife is a good size reference. She's 5'1" tall, or 5 foot. I really think she's 4'7", but she claims to be 5'1". You can see her size correlation, like this rock shelf she just passed. I am so proud of my wife. She has faced her fears. I'm going to speed it up to double time coming down, just so you can see what we're going through.
So that's the, I don't know if you can see my wife, but that's the elevational change. That's an amazing view. Ooh. Careful, I slipped a little bit right here. Be careful, I slipped just a little bit right here. Yeah, when we get down. That's why I came down this way.
Once again, my wife wanted to play in the water. Turned out it was one of her co-workers there. She was turning around after the creek.
My wife made it. I am so proud of her. Okay. Wait. So here's the deal, guys. You make this hike, but it is not marked, and it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. But you deal with shale rock lots of stuff for mechanical injury. So for an adventure, it works. But just keep in mind, take her slow, kind of think about your next move, kind of like the game of golf. Just lay up for your next shot. Because honestly, they don't have any kind of markers. So you really don't know where the trail is. And then any game trail also kind of looks like it could possibly be part of the trail, which is kind of surprising with how many people walk this.
So as we speed our way down to the bottom here, I just want to thank you for watching. Also, I'd like to tell you what All Trails says. This says, the trail to Leigh Lake is a shorter hike, but with an incline that will definitely have you feeling like you got a good workout. It takes a little under an hour and a half to get to the lake if you stop and savor the views, about an hour if walking quickly. What to expect? The trail has an incline, definite rocky areas that you'll have to climb at points. They can be a bit slick and something you may want to consider if bringing small children and pets. You will cross some streams, water areas a few times, so expect to get your feet a bit wet and muddy. Beautiful waterfalls that you will walk by along the way up. Snowy patches into the early summer once you get close to the lake. I kind of agree with that. They're a little bit more on point than the Forest Service is. But keep in mind, you are on really rocky areas. I think it should say that if you're scared of heights, that you need to beware. Also, I think it needs to mention that you're on top of that shale rock. Make sure to bring water with you on this hike, and make sure that you are ready for what's coming. It is mind-boggling to me how nobody carries water with them or any kind of emergency supplies. In your backpack, you should have a couple of things, you know, like a whistle, a space blanket, carry a firearm or bear spray. I prefer to use a firearm because I just don't trust an aerosol can, and I definitely don't want wind messing with me. I hope I never have to use it. I hope I never have to fight a bear, but if I do, I'm definitely prepared and not with bear spray. The bear spray, though, they say is like 90% effective. When you get to the bottom, it says something about you've climbed more steps than the Eiffel State Tower or something like that. Don't really care. I can tell you this, I was really sore and the hike was well worth it. I would like to encourage everybody to try it, and if you don't, hopefully this video helps. I'm not going to talk through the whole thing. Once again, my name is John. Thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you join me for the next adventure. If you have any suggestions, please leave a comment below.